Welcome back to AutoScoop with Adam Goldfine and Joyce Littell.
Thanks for checking us out Fridays. This is where you get the inside scoop, and today we're talking about personal injuries. And if you've been affected, this is the show to watch. We have another call. Let's go to Kumar, who's calling out of Marietta. You're on AutoScoop, Kumar. What's your question?
Yes, good morning. How y'all doing?
Great.
What I was calling about, I was in a car accident last night. I was rear-ended. The car that rear-ended me was an off-duty police officer, so when the other police officer came, they just took down all my information and his information, and they was trying to just tell me to go ahead and leave, and I'll hear from them. I did take a picture of my car. I took a picture of the car that hit me, the license plate, and I took a picture of the license plate of the police officer that came. And I just wanted to know, what do I need to do to get this situation taken care of?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah. The first thing you need to do is get a copy of the police report and see how they wrote that police report up. I mean, the good news is with a rear-end collision, usually that's going to work out okay, even if it does involve an off-duty police officer. But that's an interesting fact pattern. And if he's off-duty and rear-ended you, then you should have a claim just like you would if anyone else rear-ended you. But getting the police report and calling me to get the wheels rolling on this is very, very important.
See, I think a lot of times people don't realize the effect that having, attorney at law on the top of your letterhead has. And if you can ask the questions from the insurance carrier or the police, station, or a doctor's office or another witness, it carries a special weight with the, with your questioning. So you're a tremendous tool and resource for people to use.
And I mean, when you're talking about the remedies, like some of the things that we have listed here, loss of enjoyment of life. Who knew that this is something that you could, sue for? And the one that you were talking about,
Loss
I
of
had
consortium.
that. You know what I'm saying?
You love that one.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I mean, I didn't think about that, and I had been in an accident that I did not cause before, but I never thought about these kinds of things. So you need a person.
So can you
who
run down
knows.
those remedies for us so that people understand, okay, if they called you and God forbid they had an accident, here are some, obviously if the facts allowed and the liabilities allowed and they weren't at fault and all the other things that you'd walk them through, but here are the types of damages that people do receive under a personal injury claim.
Certainly.
Okay.
The first one is medical expenses. Those are your actual costs of all the treatment that you required, but it's also your future. So a lot of times we're able to get the doctors to outline with a prognosis and a future treatment plan and a cost projection what that's going to be for the future. So
do they pay that up front, or do they only pay it out as you need it?
Well, typically they're not going to want to pay future medical, and if you don't have an attorney, they're going to be kind of dictating to you what they're willing to pay, and they'll want to just limit it to the past. But certainly, if an attorney's involved, I mean, we're going to try to make them pay for all of that. I mean, they're going to have to pay for everything medically, past and future. They're going to have to pay for everything involving your pain that you've endured. I mean, fractures and surgeries and injections are a lot to go through, and there's a value to that. A jury would be asked, if we can't reach a compromise with the settlement, a jury is going to be the one that's going to be asked to decide how much that's worth, and they're going to hear arguments from trained attorneys on both sides trying to determine what that's worth. Pain and suffering, loss of enjoyment of life, those are all kind of fact specific. I mean, your facts of your life and how it impacted you, and oftentimes before and after witnesses, your friends and family that can say, I'm no longer able to jog with him every single day, or we used to go to the gym every night, or he's not the same at the work, he's not able to work the full shifts. All of those things are very fact specific, and those witnesses, people that are in your different stages of life that can tell a jury what that is, how that's been negatively impacted, that's what's going to make it worth money to a jury, where they're going to decide we do need to make sure that they get compensated for that. And then there's the one that you keep wanting to bring up, the loss
it
of
up first.
Only because I thought you'd like it. Okay?
Right.
The loss
Now
of
we need
consortium.
Yeah, the loss of consortium is a claim actually that the spouse in a personal injury claim would have, and it's for
Spousal relations?
Spousal relations,
That's how
the
you say it.
physical relationship, as
Right.
well as, how your life's been impacted. Maybe they can't, help around the house as much. I mean, it is more than just the physical relationship. The individual has a loss of enjoyment of life and pain and suffering, but the spouse has one as well because they have lost some of what their spouse was able to do.
Now, you said that your office will give a free consultation if they go online or if they call. So once that is done and they decide to use the Griffin Law Firm, then how do we pay for you?
Well, the good news is there's no out-of-pocket expenses. When you hire me to help you, it's going to be on a contingency fee, where basically that means that I get a percentage of what I'm able to recover. Now, that is a great thing, because if there was an expense, a lot of these people are starting to miss time from work. They would have to go it alone and be at the mercy of whatever an adjuster wanted to pay them.
And I think that's why, you know, I said it, and because it's very important. A lot of people not do a lot of things when it comes to their benefit based on whether or not they can afford it.
Right.
Well, so let's try to break that down then, if we can, okay, when we come back, because I think it's important people understand the out-of-pocket, the risk that you're taking, why it's important that you review the case and understand the facts beforehand, even whether or not the individual should tell you the whole story or if they should withhold information from you, how important that is and what your obligations are, so we can kind of walk them through. I've had an accident, I've gone to the website, what's going to happen next? So it isn't like they're hearing about it and then all of a sudden they're going to get a bill, or they're hearing about it and they said, well, I told him that I needed this and he talked about it or didn't talk about it. How can you reassure them of how the case will proceed, okay?
Certainly.
All right, so don't go anywhere. There's a whole bunch more of AutoScoop, and definitely feel free to go to Mr. Griffin's website. And the website, again, is the Griffin Law Firm.
GriffinLawFirmPC.com.
Okay, you're here only on AutoScoop. It's live. It's every Friday from 10 to 11. Replayed again tomorrow from 12 to 1. So we'll be back with more of your questions and Mr. Griffin in just a moment. Keep watching.
Welcome back to AutoScoop with Adam Goldfine and Joyce Littell.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We're talking about personal injury. We know that accidents happen all the time, because when you open up the show, you said, Joyce, within an hour, there will be 40 accidents somewhere.
No.
400.
No, more than that.
Boy, how many?
There will be 4 deaths.
4 deaths. That's
400 injuries.
Get out of here.
I didn't say accidents.
Within an hour.
Within that hour. I didn't say accidents. The number of accidents is even larger. I'm talking about people. Listen, somebody got up today, ate their Frosted Flakes, drank their coffee, and ended up in the hospital. It happens. It was not predicted. Nobody said, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to ram the guy in front of me. They're either, you know the deal, we've done it on driver distraction. They're on the phone, they're doing their makeup, they're grabbing a moving object in the car, they're swatting a bee.
Stop.
Right. They're yelling at the guy in front of them. I mean, the guy in front of me today was killing me. If he didn't stop with his black bear, I was going to choke him. Okay? I was like, just to get in front of him was my entire goal this morning. All right? But we see it. It causes accidents. Now, it's unfortunate because a lot of people get hurt. They don't want to turn to the counsel of an attorney. That's why it's so important. I mean, really important to bring you full front so people can see you're not scary. You're easy to talk to, you're intelligent, you can actually add a lot of value. It's not like you're just taking from them, because if they don't have you, they're not going to get those damages.
Right.
So a lot of times people, oh, you pay the attorneys a lot. Absolutely not. You're actually going along and riding with them. You only get if they get.
That's right.
And so I think it's important. Joyce asked a fantastic question. How do you get paid? Help us from the standpoint of, if I go to your website and I do a consultation, that's free.
Right.
Okay, so we know you can go to GriffinLawFirmPC.com, get a free consultation. If they call you on the phone, is it free?
Absolutely free.
First phone call free. Could be like jail. First phone call's free. They go in, they meet you. You say, yes, you have a case. You now start working on their behalf. How much money do they have to pay you?
They would pay nothing out of pocket.
Zero.
Zero.
This is a no money down deal.
My
Okay,
kind of
no
deal.
money down, all credit accepted. not all applications, all credit. Okay, now, and that's a good question. What if you have bad credit? Can they still use you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, your credit doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you can hire an attorney. All that matters is that you have a valid claim, that there is negligence, that you were injured, and there's insurance to go after. Those are the things that I'm going to verify.
Jump.
So if someone were to come into your office and you sit down with the consultation and you determine from that this is not going to go anywhere, I won't be able to receive any more than what they probably can get just strictly from the insurance company, do you make that determination too? Because as
Absolutely.
you said, you make your money based upon what you can get.
Right. Almost every case where there's a valid injury and clear liability, I'm going to be able to make a difference on. I'm going to be able to make sure that they get fully paid. Now, insurance companies, their whole mindset is to try to pay as little as possible, and they're not trying to be, they're not a charity, they're a business. So they are not going to help people know that they can go to the doctor, and they're not going to help them know that they can use their health insurance, or if they don't have that there's doctors that'll even treat on a lien if you have an attorney involved. I mean, there are a lot of things that hiring an attorney open the door to, so that you can then get the treatment you need, and then I can pursue it and make sure you get paid all your medical bills, your pain and suffering, your loss of enjoyment of life, and if you have any permanent injury, that as well.
What about facts that may be harmful to my own case? Should I withhold information from you?
Absolutely not. If you withhold information from your attorney, then you are absolutely setting up the attorney and yourself for a fall, because we can help and we can deal with facts. And so many times, if a client is getting ready to have their deposition taken in my office, I'm going to look at them and I'm going to say, look, tell the truth. Tell me the truth, and I go through all the questions that I think they're going to be asked, and you tell the truth under oath. If you do, then you can deal with these things. Prior accidents, for example. Sometimes people are like, I don't want to talk about that. I'm going to say I didn't have any prior accidents, or pre-existing conditions. Those are things that they don't think are going to help the case, and they don't, but if handled properly and we know about it, we can deal with it. But if you're under oath and you don't talk about those things, the legs go right out from underneath the case.
So when you know you're at fault and you were the person that caused the accident, putting the makeup on, talking on the cell phone, BlackBerry going, you know you did it, do you still call your attorney or call an attorney when you know that you were the person that was involved?
I mean, you can. We take calls. I mean, anybody that calls, we're going to talk to them about their case. I mean, obviously, we're not going to take the case if they're at fault, but we can guide them through. And I've had people call me and they said, what do we do? And they said, we were at fault. And I said, well, look, call your insurance company, report it. If they don't settle the claim.
That is great, because at a minimum they're getting sound counsel and advice so they don't overreact and act emotionally.
And sometimes they will even wonder, if they sue me, what's going to happen? Well, your insurance company, is a part of your policy on your liability coverage, they're going to provide you a defense attorney, because the insurance company has to make sure that the claim is fairly argued on both sides.
All right, so here's the deal. When we come back, we're going to ask you to sum it all up for us. A nice, neat package. You'll have about 2 minutes to explain to everybody out there. So, if anyone in your family or you have ever been involved in an accident, had personal injury claim, and want to know about it, you heard from Mr. Griffin, you have a 2-year window, statute of limitations here in Georgia. So you're not going to want to miss out on this next tidbit of information.